Welcome, dear viewers, to Science Scribbles. What's the functions of ecosystems? All ecosystems have a natural tendency to persist. Various functions performed by the structural components ensure the persistence of the ecosystem by following the basic law of ecology, the flow of energy, and the cycling of materials within the system. So, function reveals the working of the ecosystem. The whole working process of the ecosystem broadly include three steps. The first step or the primary function of all ecosystems is to manufacture food for the entire unit by the process photosynthesis. And in the second stage, this processed energy in the form of food materials are transferred to all consumers of the ecosystem. Finally, all living components die at their particular stages, and the tertiary function in this working process is the decomposition of all dead organic matter to release their inorganic constituent to the environment. All these working steps are carried out in a delicately balanced and controlled condition. The primary function of all ecosystems is the photosynthesis. Ecosystems are unable to function unless there is a constant input of energy from outside. This source of energy is the sun or solar radiation. Photosynthesis is the process by which solar energy enters the living components of the ecosystem. The primary producers, that is the plants with the chlorophyll, convert radiant energy of sun to chemical energy and store it in organic forms. Primary production is the first and the basic form of energy storage in nature. Only about 1% or less of sunlight reaching on earth is used in photosynthesis, but this small fraction provides energy for the whole living community on earth. The rate at which solar energy is captured for primary production is the primary productivity of the ecosystem. Gross and net primary productions of ecosystems are of great significance. Gross primary production is the total amount of organic matter produced due to photosynthesis, whereas a good fraction of this gross amount is utilized by the producers themselves for their respiration. And the amount of energy or food left in green plants after respiration is the net primary production, which means the added growth of plants. So, net primary production is equal to gross production minus respiration. The productivity or the production efficiency of ecosystems varies according to several environmental factors such as availability of sunlight, temperature, rainfall, and the availability of water, availability of inorganic nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, etc. Environment that provide the best circumstances for plant growth are more productive. That is, warm but moist sunny areas with a sufficient amount of various nutrients for photosynthesis are ideal for production. For example, production in deserts are low because of scarcity of water. Open oceans are also less productive due to low supply of nutrients, whereas productivity of marshes and estuaries are high as these ecosystems receive enough sunlight and are rich in nutrients. The functioning of ecosystems depend upon the flow of energy through its various biotic components. Solar energy stored by producers is transferred to different levels of consumers by the process of eating and being eaten up by others, which is known as energy flow. The net primary production accumulated as plant biomass serve as food for plant eaters or herbivores. For example, herbivores such as cow or deer utilize the primary production directly. This consumed plant biomass is processed within herbivore and a part is assimilated. And a net part of the assimilated after their metabolic needs becomes the added biomass of the herbivore. This added biomass is the secondary production which is available to the next level of consumers, that is to the primary carnivore. So, secondary productivity is the rate of formation of new organic matter by a heterotroph or consumer. This process of transformation of food and energy is repeated in further higher level consumers of the ecosystem. When organisms die, they all are decomposed by microorganisms into inorganic materials that can again be used up in the ecosystem. Decomposers are mainly bacteria that act on animal matter and fungi that decay the plant matter. Decomposers break down the complex organic molecules into simple forms. They are micro-consumers and are saprophytes as they acquire energy needs from the decaying organic matter. Remaining decomposed organic matter is transformed to inorganic nutrients and become available in the environment to carry out repeatedly the production process. The chart describes the functioning of ecosystem, that is the flow of energy and the cycling of materials. Solar energy captured and stored by producers flows through different levels of consumers, including micro-consumers, in a one-way path. The entire plant biomass is not consumed by plant eaters, and the left out is also subjected to decomposition. And similar is the case in succeeding higher consumer levels. Finally, the entire biomass is subjected to decomposition, and thus the materials are repeatedly cycled within the ecosystem. Thus, in all ecosystems, there is a one-way flow of energy and the cycling of materials, which is said to be the working process or the function of ecosystem. Thank you for watching the video. Subscribe Science Scribbles for more contents.